moving on. I mean, the World Cup has already started. You know, and there has been a whole lot of controversies in terms of refereeing situation and the rest of that. The best referee in Africa, Omar Nathan, has been deported from the US. And the reason that the US gave was that he has terrorism link. And the big question is this: how does CAF and FIFA not do their due diligence to know that the referee they are putting forward for a particular competition is, has links to terrorism? That's one part of the question. Another one is UEFA is trying to use the guy to, they are trying to use the guy as a pawn to challenge Donald Trump, to challenge the US government. I mean, it has been said that the latest news is that he will be the one to officiate the Super Cup. Temiloluwa, welcome. Thank you for joining. Let me start with you. I mean, what do you make of the referee, the best referee in Africa, having terrorism links to his name? That's number one. Number two, what does that say about the credibility of CAF? Who is the confederation that put forward the referee to FIFA? What do you say about the reputation of FIFA also in terms of checking the kind of people that have shaken? Because I mean, if at the end of the day, the US published the particular report, they published the particular proof, and this guy is actually linked to terrorism, does that not give CAF and FIFA a bad reputation?
Okay, so let's first and foremost start from here. The World Cup to the United States, you understand? United States is not really a football playing country like that. Let's put it the way it is. They call their own soccer, while we call our own football. You understand? So there's an abstract difference in how they view football. So things like this are inevitable considering the politics behind football, considering who Donald Trump is. So I was speaking to a friend and I told him exactly this thing. I said, for the fact that the World Cup is in US, you understand, doesn't mean anyhow people will come into US. Doesn't mean US will bend their rules. We saw what happened in Qatar. You understand? In Qatar, they don't allow drinks. You understand? They don't allow alcohol. They don't allow. You understand? But for the fact that the World Cup was coming to Qatar, you understand, they adjusted some of their rules. You understand, to accommodate people. You get, considering the fact that it's a World Cup, you get people from different races are coming in. So I knew US would not do that. You understand? And for the fact that US have blacklisted some countries, people coming from those countries will struggle heavily. You understand? And particularly African nations. You understand? People coming from Africa to the US will struggle heavily with their migration rule and all those stuff. You understand? So I wasn't surprised when they didn't allow the Somalia ref enter into US, but I was thinking FIFA would intervene because I believe that background checks must have been done. You understand, on this ref for him to have even been given the award as the best ref in Africa. You understand, goes a long way. You get, so a whole lot of background checks have been done. You get, so to show that he's clean. I don't think there's any terrorism attached to it because US just have to find something to say to justify why they are sending him back. You understand? The idea is Somalia is a blacklisted country to US. You understand? So whoever is coming from Somalia to US is going to actually face a lot of struggles, you understand, to get into there. But what I just feel is, regardless of either whatever charges he has around him, we can blame our CAF. We can also blame FIFA. But this is the World Cup, so I'll blame FIFA. Because it is not an AFCON whereby it is only Africa continent that is involved. This is FIFA. And if you are bringing a ref from Africa, you understand, to ref in a World Cup, I'm sure you've done your due diligence, you've done your checks and every other thing. So FIFA really messed up, you understand, by allowing US go about that. But then again, the whole idea of carrying the World Cup to US, you understand, we already knew that things like this will happen, back ends like this will eventually happen. And Trump is not somebody that bends on their migration rule. You can see the way the players are even being searched at the airports, like
True.
They are being searched like criminals. You understand? They are being searched like, even to the sole of their shoes, they are being searched like criminals. You understand? So if footballers are being searched that way, star footballers are being searched that way, how do you think an ordinary fan, you understand, is coming in to come and, well, how do you think they'll search them? You understand? So I don't think US is handling the World Cup the way they should. You understand? And I don't think you see any search like that in terms of Mexico. You understand? Because fans went to, because Mexico will be holding some matches. So fans going to Mexico, you are not hearing any news, you understand, from Mexico about the whole search and every other thing. So I just think US are overdoing this. FIFA should have stepped in, you understand, but for the fact that FIFA didn't step in, because whoever pays the piper dictate the tune. So it's all about money now, you get, and it is all about who pays. So that's just the whole idea. But I feel it is not about CAF, you understand? It is not about the ref. It is not about where he's from. It is about FIFA. Because if you are bringing an official, you should be accountable for that official.
True.
Not that
Very
you
true.
just leave the official to face his fate. You
True.
understand? Because that was what happened. They just allowed the ref face his fate. You understand? So that's just, it's down to FIFA. FIFA, and they knew that they've done something wrong. You understand? They knew that they were supposed to back him. That's why they said, okay, he's going to officiate the UEFA Super Cup. They know what they should be doing. You understand? They know that they are supposed to back him up. But since they didn't back him up, you understand, it is US. So I don't know what people were expecting. Trump wouldn't bend his rule. You understand? Even Qatar, that we expected to be a very strict nation, you understand, we're even bending their rules. You understand, telling fans, okay, you can drink, but don't drink in the stadium. You understand? Normally they don't even drink in the public in Qatar. You understand? But because of the sake of the World Cup, they had to adjust one or two things. But US is not a place to adjust. Yes, when I saw the way they were searching Kevin De Bruyne, I was like, if Kevin De Bruyne is being searched like this, I wonder how they are going to search players from Haiti, players from Senegal. You understand? If a European is being searched that way, to his socks, to his shoes, I wonder how those from South America and those from Africa will be searched. You understand? So, and from report, allegedly some fans were being sent back home. You understand? Some fans were being sent back home. So that one didn't reach the top. You understand? Because they looked for a way to die it down. FIFA is failing us. You understand? They said football is for all, but from what we are saying, football is for a selected few.
Okay, and that's fantastic. So Solomon, coming to you now. Temidolu has raised some valid points, and he said some few things, and I want to pick your brain about it. I mean, so there is an Oman Atan that CAF put forward. FIFA decided to accept him. FIFA put him forward to officiate. He was sent back. He was arrested, deported by the US. CAF has not come out to say anything, and this is the confederation that are supposed to have cleared him. FIFA has not come out to say anything backing Omar, the ref up. What the only thing FIFA said is that they don't have control over the immigration policy of the host nation. So how do we not blame CAF and FIFA for not doing their due diligence? Because I mean, if the person does not have any terrorism link, as the US have said, CAF should have put out a statement by now. FIFA should have put out a statement backing the ref, but not all of them are silent. So what do you make of that?
Well, Mr. Temi has said it, to be honest. I think that politics has crept into football, and we can see how that FIFA is, bending to USA at this point in time. That's all we can see, to be honest. And as you said, when Mr. Temi was talking, I was going to say that imagine if this were AFCON and something of this nature happened. Just imagine it were AFCON and something of this nature happened. We ourselves as Africans would have probably destroyed the internet, said a whole lot of things about how Africa is not coordinated, how it is always us that do things, in the wrong manner and whatnot. But this is the World Cup, and now this questions the integrity of FIFA. This questions the integrity of FIFA. If somebody is deemed as the best, if someone is deemed as the best, come on. He has been a FIFA referee since 2018. right?
True.
If somebody is working for an international organization like FIFA, there is absolutely no way you have not done background checks on that person. There's
True.
absolutely no way you've not done background checks on that person. Absolutely no way. You must have carried out background checks. You must have done due diligence enough to know where they are coming from, to know what they can do and what they can't do. And just as you said, for FIFA and CAF to not have said anything about it, as I said, I just think that they are playing politics with the whole issue, right? They are playing politics with the whole issue. Infantino came out to tell us to chill and relax. Can you imagine? I watched that interview. The journalist even asked him afterwards. When he said we should, he came out, he said, chill, relax, they are working behind the scenes. The journalist asked him again, okay, so this referee Omar Atan has been sent back home. But Iran, they can't even train in USA. They have to go to Mexico, train in Mexico, come back to USA, then go back to Mexico. Do you know what it means to be jet lagged? Players who are supposed to rest, you are making them go from Mexico to USA, USA to Mexico. They have to leave USA that very day that they play their match. It's appalling, right? So I can only say that politics has crept into, not like this is the first time that politics is creeping into football. I mean, it's they work hand in hand. Do you understand? The government of the country where the FIFA World Cup has to be played obviously would have a lot of say as well as regards the things that they want to see in their country. And Mr. Timmy already gave a fine example of Qatar bending their rules. And funnily enough, quite a number of footballing countries were trying to boycott Qatar 2022.
That's
Funnily
true.
enough, the number of footballing countries were trying to boycott Qatar. And now look at the West, that is supposed to be the open-minded part of the world. They are the ones that are going about all of these things. So, as I said, it's just all politics. It's just all politics. And again, it just questions the integrity of the people that are running these footballing organizations. I saw, that Mr. Timmy said he saw the one of Kevin De Bruyne. I saw the one of Fabio Cannavaro,
True.
a former Ballon d'Or winner. It's appalling. Like, you can't just picture it. It's unimaginable that something like that would happen. And FIFA going silent on this, it tells a lot about the organization. It tells a lot about the organization. Even if you will be like one leader and just put out one press statement or something, just to even do what Nigeria will call do, you didn't even do that. You didn't even do that. You didn't even see anything. It's just terrible, right? Funny enough, all of these things took away the, what's it called now? The enthusiasm,
Hmm.
the excitement that leads to the World Cup. It was not to be. The only reason why I think there was a whole lot of excitement yesterday was because of the country that was playing the first match in South Africa. The way that fans had gone about it. I think that was the only reason why there was a bit of excitement. If it were South Korea, Czech that started the World Cup or something, I don't think it would have garnered that much buzz. I genuinely don't think it would have garnered that much buzz. But because of the country that was involved, people just had to go all the way out, especially from Africa, and watch the match, and it's watched successfully. So it's just appalling what has happened, and FIFA and CAF being silent about it. I said a lot, and UEFA now stepping in and making Omar Atan the ref for the Super Cup final is just, I'm asking myself, what are these organizations doing to us? Are they trying to play with us or what? I saw it, I'm like, wow, just like that. Just like that. So it's just all politics. It's just all politics, and that's all I can say. It's just all politics.
Okay. I mean, still sticking with you, Solomon, and I'll come back to Temilolua just to wrap up on this issue. You mentioned something about UEFA stepping in. The Super Cup, this will be the 53rd edition of the Super Cup, and there has never been an African referee officiating in that particular tournament, in that particular competition, if I'll put it that way. Don't you think they are just trying to use Omar as a pawn? Don't you think Omar should have rejected the offer and say he's not interested in refereeing that game? That's number one. Number two, this person is not even licensed to under UEFA, because before you can officiate in the UEFA Confederation, you have to be licensed. Yes, I know there are exceptions where referees from Europe go to officiate in Asia, officiate in some Asian match and the rest of that and stuff like that. And that's a special arrangement. However, suddenly UEFA did not deem it fit to appoint him as their referee when immediately the season ended. It was after the situation with USA, with Donald Trump's government, that UEFA decided to step up. Are they not using this guy to send a political message? Don't you think Omar Fatah should have, probably just say, Omar Fatah should have probably just say thank you, but no thanks?
Mr. Mayo, there are not many people that will reject such offer. There are not many people that reject such offer. The credibility that comes with being a referee for such big match, probably the biggest of his career so far, it's almost impossible to turn down. Almost impossible to turn down, especially after what has just happened. You know the African, the way I don't want to say the African mentality. Sorry about that. I don't want to say the African mentality. But you know that we will celebrate this thing and see it as what the enemy meant for evil. God has turned it around. That's the way we see it. Because I saw some takes on Twitter yesterday and I'm like, wow. You said you have mentioned something very, very critical. It's not a UEFA licensed referee, it's a FIFA licensed referee, right? And I think that if I'm not mistaken, I cannot speak emphatically on this, right? But if I'm not mistaken, I think UEFA president and FIFA president are at loggerheads.
Yes.
I think something about Russia.
That's very true.
I think it's about the Russian ban. Thank you very much. And UEFA now going to endorse Omar Atan as the referee for the Super Cup, I think they're just trying to play on the emotions of the fans. And of course, it's all political. Why do I say they're trying to play on the emotions of the fans? Look at the welcome that Omar Atan got in Somalia. Just look at that welcome party that he got. Now, you now play on that, you now take such events and you now say, let us stamp this guy as the referee for the Super Cup. How do you think he will be taken back at home in Somalia now? How do you think they are going to accept him? Of course, they are going to be even more joyous. They are going to celebrate him even much more. So I think that UEFA is just trying to get at FIFA. Now, this, we already mentioned that what FIFA did with the Omar Atan case is wrong, right? It's wrong. Sure. There was no reason why that should happen. I also think that UEFA in this case are also wrong. I also think they are wrong. You are trying as much as possible to get back at FIFA, get back at Infantino, and you are literally putting somebody's career in the middle of it all. You're putting his career in the middle of it all. And as I said, Omar Atan is not, I won't say that, he's completely, quote unquote, innocent, or he too would not at least think about why they want to endorse him as their referee. Do you understand? I don't think he will not think like that. I believe that he's intelligent enough to know that, okay, something is at play, right? But again, as I said, it's just going to be almost impossible to deny or to refuse such, privilege, because of course it's a privilege to be the referee for such huge match, and probably, as I said, the biggest of his career so far. So I don't know. I just hope that after the World Cup, we get at least, should I say, some sort of closure, if that's the word, from FIFA as regards this situation. Because now in 2030, I think 2 nations are going to host the World Cup. Then 2034, 3 nations are going to host the World Cup. Is this what is going to happen again? So many questions will be raised. If this is not addressed right now, people would have, trust issues going into other nations' coming from 2030 and 2034, where they want to do the centenary celebration of the World Cup, right? It's just going to be a lot. So I believe that after the World Cup, I hope that we would get some sort of closure, and let's just see how all of this would play out eventually.
Temilolu, let's wrap up this issue. I mean, Solomon has said a whole lot. Do you agree with what said in terms of, UEFA is wrong for appointing him? Because I mean, they are trying to use his career to play political ping pong, and as a wise man, you should always stay away from this kind of thing, because the FIFA will have you in mind that you supported this, and as much as a lot of people might have their issues with FIFA, any FIFA organized competition is the highest of achievement for any referee. Don't you think this will dent his own career if he accepts and be the one to officiate in the Super Cup game?
Mr. Mayowa,
Yes.
I think there is no issue at all accepting the UEFA game. Yes, in fact, I even see it as a fantastic development. You understand? So if we are saying the highest level for a ref is officiating a FIFA tournament, the next World Cup is in 4 years' time. And I can tell you for free, nobody will consider the Somalia ref in the next 4 years. So, and he also refing, that's the bitter truth. You don't have any other FIFA tournaments. They cannot be playing Euros now and they invite him.
True.
So there's no FIFA, he has lost this one, he has lost it. You understand? So that's why it is even even more painful. You understand that a ref has been considered for a well-organized, well-structured competition like this. And when the competition is about to kick off, they now told the ref, it is not even that they sent a letter before the tournament. You understand? He got there. You understand? From reports, he even got it. We can even say he almost got, you can say he got detained. You understand? Because he was there for over 17 hours.
Yeah.
You understand? So he was detained. You understand? While they were carrying out investigation, and then the next flight they sent him back, just like an ordinary. The way they handle the case is like somebody that didn't have his document. You understand? Like somebody that smuggled himself into a nation. You understand? That was how they handled him. You understand? And I'm sure this man went first class. You get, but it was handled like somebody that just smuggled his way into the aircraft. You understand? So it is even more painful now that we are now thinking that okay, he should not accept why shouldn't he accept the UEFA invitation? You understand? So there's no anything about FIFA again. Let's be honest ourselves. The ref that ref the last World Cup, how many of them are there in this World Cup? Let's be honest with ourselves. How many of them? You understand? So he has missed it. FIFA has messed up and they didn't do well. You understand? So him now refing the UEFA Super Cup, for me, it is wonderful for his CV. For the fact that he didn't even need to have UEFA license, you understand, to ref in that UEFA Super Cup is enough for me. You understand? It's enough for me. So if we are waiting for the FIFA recognition and the likes, it's in the next 4 years, and ask yourself, will he be considered by then? If he is still the best ref in Africa, you understand, and he's not in this World Cup, what gives you the guarantee that will be in the next World Cup? You understand? So that we are not understanding the magnitude of this thing. Before this World Cup started, everybody have been doing countdown. You understand? From 100 days they've been doing countdown. From 150 days they've been doing countdown. This ref in question has also been doing countdown. He has been doing his preparations. You understand? He has been attending the FIFA's referees training. You understand? He has been attending a whole lot of programs. You understand? Leading down to this one. So just imagine, he wasn't even able to step on the pitch. You understand? He was stopped from the airport as he was landing. Now they catch him. You understand? They held the man, like he was treated like a criminal. He's an official. He's not even a footballer. You understand? You can treat footballers like that, but he's an official, an accredited official that FIFA has written saying this is the person that we want. You understand? Now people are now saying you shouldn't have. Yeah, you should not accept the. No, when one door closed, another door open. Like Mr. Solomon said. You understand? So if like a disappointment is a blessing in disguise, that's what I see it as. You understand? So this UEFA Super Cup, not many referees have the opportunity. Even the ones with UEFA license, not many of them have the opportunity to ref a game of that magnitude. You understand? We are not giving attention to that now because we are playing the World Cup. When World Cup finished, everybody will be curious. You understand? If PSG win the UEFA Super Cup or Aston Villa, you understand? So I feel for him. You understand? It is quite very painful considering the level of preparation he has put into this World Cup. Very painful. You understand? But for the fact that UEFA can step in, you understand, to like offer him to do that, you understand? I feel it is like a sign of relief and it's going to help his CV. It is a once in a lifetime something. I don't think he's going to be reffing any UEFA match anytime soon. You understand? So it's just one-off, just like this World Cup. This World Cup is just a one-off something. We don't even know how many matches he's going to officiate in the World Cup. You understand? He might not even be thrown into officiating the big matches. He might be thrown to officiate South Korea versus Czech. I don't know if you understand the picture. So it's not just about FIFA now. You get, so I'm very happy for him, even though I'm sad for him. I'm sad as regards how the whole thing went about. Very painful. You understand? A whole lot of things can be attributed to this, but let's know. I don't want to escalate it based on what I am thinking, but a lot of things can be attributed to it. You understand? But then they say football is for all, but it's very, very painful actually that politics is being played into it. You get politics from Infantino, politics from Trump, you understand, politics from the organizing body, politics from everything. And like Solomon said, whatever you don't want to continue, whatever you don't even want at all, kill it at the start. You understand? So now you are going to a World Cup where 2 host nations, you understand, 3 host nations. So imagine like one of the host nations now is having a beef with another nation. And then officials from there are coming. And then they've seen how FIFA handled this Somalia US rift. What do you think they will do? This thing that happened now is going to have a ripple effect that when it start to happen, you understand, it will hurt people more. But by then, there will be no solution. You understand? This is going to have a very big ripple effect. But for the Somalia coach, Somalia ref, I'm happy for him because it's not easy to go and ref in a UEFA competition without a proper UEFA license prior. You understand? An African referee going to go and ref PSG versus Aston Villa, well, is very big. You understand? I'm happy for him in that regard. But then, very sad that they've allowed politics to enter into the beautiful game. You understand? Which is very, very painful. So that is that on that. I'm happy for him. You understand? So